Okay, now I'm going to work on getting getting the labels put in the machine and how to get them lined up. So the first thing I did is I took one of your lids and I took the seal out of the bottom and I cut a hole right in the middle where that divot was in the lid. I cut a hole, and what this allows me to do is whenever I'm getting this lined up, I'm going to put it over the top here and I'm going to look to see where it is lined up according to the hole that's in the label and the hole that's in the lid here. And I'm going to adjust the guides around until I get it lined up perfect. Then I'm going to bring it down and apply it. And as you can see, I'm still off a little bit, so we'll just pull this one off. And then remember, this is just initial adjustment. So that's why I allowed the guides to be pivoted, because every time you load the roll, it's going to change the position of the labels back and forth slightly depending on how the roll is wound and how they were slit. So we do have to have that guide adjustability. So I'm going to look down through here again. I'm going to go back this way just a little bit. I think that's pretty much got it dead on. See, now we got it right in the middle. Now you're going to want to peel this label back off of your test lid, because if you don't, then you're never going to get it off again. I found out that after these sit overnight, they tend to stick forever. So now I should be able to go to a blank lid, apply the label, and it should be right in the middle. So that's how easy it is to set up, and that's why I let the guides move back and forth. As far as loading the machine, we'll go through that one more time. Turn the machine off. Remove the last label. Again, your labels are going to be out when you do this, so we're going to have a nice clean edge to start off with here, like you would on a fresh roll. Remember to always remove the side with the spring. So it goes like this. So you have your roll of labels, you put them on this side, you have the 1-inch collar, the guide, the core insert, facing with the flange towards the guide. Put the roll on so that it unwinds down with the labels facing down. Install the second core insert. Install the guide, the spring, and then the 1-inch collar. Collapse the spring just a little bit, just to give it some tension. The only idea of this is to keep it from backlashing. So now, we were talking, the side frames were not bent. It was fine, but it is a little, you do have to push it to the side a little bit to get it to drop in. So that's not a big deal. So now I'm going to pull off a little bit. You know, I want you to notice, zoom in right here. They're sticking. You see that? Here we go again. They're sticking to each other on the back of this roll. This is a serious problem with these labels, and you really need to talk to your label printer about this. When I pull these off, you should not hear them sticking to the labels behind. In fact, I've had some labels actually stick so bad that they actually come off the roll and stick to the back side of the backing paper. If this happens when it goes through the machine, it's going to make a mess of everything. So, unfortunately, you really do need to talk to your label printer about this. He has really overwound these labels way too tight. Okay, anyway, now back to threading the machine. When you put it through, remember the second plate that's underneath? It makes a wedge. We're feeding it, zoom out. There you go. Back up a little bit. We're feeding it back through between both plates. So it's very important to remember, and we have another video showing this. But I don't want you to do this when you load the machine, but I'm going to tilt the machine on its back just to show you the bottom plate. Can you see it under there? Mm-hmm. Okay, the bottom plate here, the labels go between that and the top plate here. Again, you don't need to put the machine on its back to load the labels, but I'm just showing you. Now pull the labels out. You can still hear them sticking to each other. Now we're going to fold this around like this and lock it into place. So it should be resting against the spring pins. When you turn the machine on, it'll feed the label and stop. Then we do our alignment procedure just like I discussed earlier. We'll take our lid with the little hole in the bottom so you can look through it. And right now it looks like we need to move this guide over a little bit that way. And then lay it down. Okay, we got it nice and perfect.